Hi, we're here by the apple tree in our garden and I'm about to attempt air layering. I've never done it before. I've looked at a few clips online to see how it's done. So I'm just gonna try and see how it goes. The principle of it is quite simple. We'll see if it takes. I'll show you what I've got in order to do this, what we need. And then I'll show you step by step what I'll be doing. I've had a look at a few branches to think about which ones I'll try to use. I might use this one, that one there, one of those, and I'll see where I can find another one. The idea is not to use too thin branches or too old. Usually 1 or 2 year old branches I think are good enough because they're thick, but they're not too young. Okay, let's do this. Here I have a few of the materials that I need to do this. I've got this to use to scrape the bark, the knife. Got this material to, well, first let's start with these. We've got like plastic bags. I'm gonna fill with soil, put the branches of the tree in contact with the soil, then wrap the bags filled with soil containing the branches, wrap them with this, tie them. I could also use this on top, but we'll see how well this holds the bags. Yeah, pretty simple. And then at the end I might also stick this just to hold depending on how much soil we use. So I'll show you how that looks like in a moment once I do it. I just need to go and fill the bags. I've got 3 here because I plan to do three branches. I'll see how much soil I need. I filled the bags with soil as much as I thought I will need. This is how it looks. Pretty loose soil, good material. It's been raining in buckets for the last couple of weeks in Scotland, so the soil is already moist. I think it's enough. It's not too wet, it's not dry. So when I'll put it around the branch, it will stick well, and then the bag will hold it together. But I think I will use this as well, just to wrap it around better. Yeah, I'll go and select the branches now and scrape the bark. So as you can see, I'll use this. Maybe you want to use a bigger knife. I'll just use this, because what we basically need is just to scrape the bark. We don't want to scrape too much, just the bark, so it shows the white of the tree underneath. And from what I've been watching and researching, they say to scrape the bark in between nodes. So like we have here, we want to scrape this, because I think the idea is that this will create roots faster because it already made a node. So compared to an area here where it doesn't have a node. But yeah, I'll probably do it somewhere around here in between these parts. So yeah, I'll just scrape. I can't do it with one hand because I'm holding the camera with the other, so I'll just do it and I'll show you how it looks afterwards. So I've scraped the bark. I didn't scrape it all the way around because I want to keep the bark still connected to the tree all the way on this branch. I've seen people doing it all the way, like on this side and the other side as well, but this is how I chose to do it. Maybe I scraped a bit too much. It'll be fine as long as I cover it with soil, but I'll try and show you. I think here was that bud I showed you earlier, and there's one behind here as well, if you can see, just over here, which I scraped the bark off. But yeah, as you can see, I tried not to take too much, although I feel like I took actually quite a bit because this is a young branch. But anyway, try not to take too much, and I'll cover it in a few moments with soil because I don't want to keep it exposed for too long. And I'll do the same thing for the other two branches I'll select, and I'll show you how that looks like. I've tied the bag. I might have quite a bit more soil than I need. The branch is quite thin, so I might have to remove some, but I'll cut into it just to show you, and then we'll see. We'll go from there. Okay, we've got the cut in the bag, and I'll try to fit it on the branch. I've removed quite a bit of soil, and I still have to remove some because, yeah, if I had picked a thicker branch that would have been fine, but that's not gonna hold this amount of soil. This is how it looks. As you can tell, probably it's still a bit heavy, but I'll leave it as it is now. Hopefully it will hold on, although I don't know in the wind how it will do. And I'll do it for the other branches. I'll put less soil. I don't think we don't need that much. I think as long as there is soil and enough room in there to create the roots. Yeah, I think we'll do better on the other branch. But essentially this is the idea. Do this, and if you wanna wrap with that, I might leave it like this because I want to see if it forms roots, and because this you can see through the plastic. If I cover it with that, I won't be able to see. But it should take like 3 months from what I've been reading, depending on the moisture, depending on how dry it will be in the next couple of months. I'll do an update, but yeah, after I've done it, I thought that maybe I should have done it here to tie it, but this already had buds on, and I don't really want to damage them too much. Still, I think it would have worked better because it's thicker. But anyway, we'll see. It's first time doing it, as I said, so I'm not an expert in this. I'm just doing what I can at the moment with the knowledge I have. I've scraped the second branch I selected. You can see the nodes were there and here. Hopefully you can, where my thumb is. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this. I've done the second branch. I've actually wrapped it with this afterwards, but I'm not sure if I'll keep it because I'm thinking if it's too hot during the summer, which you don't really get too high temperature in southwest Scotland, but in case it gets too hot, this might bake the branch, so I'm not sure. Because I've seen people using this after they noticed roots have formed already, and they only did it for the last few days of that, and then cut the branch. But I'll see. It's quite wet at the moment, so I'll just leave it for now and we'll see. It's still quite thick. I don't know if you actually need that much soil, but yeah, we'll see. And for the last branch, I'm gonna use this one, which is quite a thicker branch than the other two, so it's a bit older, but I'm gonna try and do it maybe somewhere here, because the idea is if the branch is thicker and it takes root by air layering it, we will immediately have an already quite long tree that could fruit. The other ones are much smaller, so it will take a while for them, even if they take root, to grow and actually produce fruit. So it's a bit dry here. I can remove this at some point. I don't have the pruners with me, but yeah, I would cut it here because this is quite dry. The rest of the branch looks good, has fruiting spurs, looking good. So yeah, I might do it here. I'll have another look around just in case I find a better branch, but I think I've had a couple of looks around already, and I think this is the best so far. It started to drizzle a bit, but I'll just try to do this as fast as I can, and I can show you better here because it's a lower branch as well. I can see it better. So you can see here the node where my thumb is. This is where the node was. It was quite an older node, but hopefully it'll still be okay for rooting. And again, I didn't remove the bark all the way. I'll show you. I still left some on the branch because this way, as mentioned previously, it will still be connected to the mother tree. And I mean, obviously it's still connected even this way, but the bark is the living part of the tree mainly. So that's my idea anyway. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, rooting spot here. Yeah, I finished it. I've wrapped it up with a bit more more of this, I forgot how it's called. 3 of them, because the branch is thicker, so it was a bit more soil, and just trying it as best as possible to hold it well, to hold the soil. And I'll leave it like this. I won't cover it with anything else, and I'll keep an eye on it and see how it does. I'll keep an eye on all of them and see how they do in time. But yeah, this is the basic idea. I hope you were able to hear me well. It's quite windy. I'll do an update as mentioned and see how this does. Can't wait for the blooms on the apple tree. It will look so beautiful. This is what I wanted to show you today. And actually I'll show you one more thing, and then I'll let you enjoy your day doing whatever else you want to do. So this is one of the grafts I did a couple of weeks ago, and this looks like it took, but again, as mentioned in previous videos, until a year or two pass, we don't know for sure if this actually took well and actually thrived, because it can look like it's doing well in the first year and then fail in the second year and maybe even later. I'm not sure. From what I've researched, they said in the first 2 years it's paramount to just keep an eye on them and see how they develop. The other 3 ones didn't take, they're dry, but I wanted to show you this one because it looks like the buds are still doing pretty well even with this weather. They're a bit dry, but they are not like dry, so I'm hoping the graft took well. So I just wanted to do an update on this briefly, and then I'll do future ones and see how this does. It will be wonderful. It's the first time I'm grafting, so we'll see how it does. I did quite a rough graft. I've cut it and did whip and tongue to the best of my experience, which is obviously very limited to grafting, but it looks good so far. And we have the pink currant Gloire de Sablon at the base of the apple trees. It's raining, as you can see. We've got the two air layering there, and the other one on the other side. I'm gonna run inside because it's raining. Oh, and it's actually hail a little bit. Anyway, hopefully those will hold. We'll see. Have a lovely afternoon.